Hey crew, this is another video down by the river of me soaking. I told you this morning, I think I texted you, told you I was going to go in around 11, and that worked out. Actually, I was going to walk out there by myself, but just before I left, Sarah finished her writing for the day and decided since it was sunny it would be a great time to go for a walk. So she went out with me, which is always more fun when someone else is with you. I've got audio on this, but I probably will turn it way down because it's not that interesting. Sarah and I talking about stuff we've seen in the news or on videos for 5 minutes. But you asked me in the last video about the picture from Hell's Canyon with the light. That was, in fact, a 30-second exposure. I can't remember. I don't think I mentioned it in the video of the trip that I made, but if I did, sorry, I'm repeating myself. But, yeah, so I woke up at about 4 in the morning and went out, and the stars were out, and I just went out to relieve myself. And then the sky was so beautiful, I grabbed my camera, and I didn't have a tripod, but I started doing some long exposures, like 30-second exposures. And I got a couple of good ones looking up river, and I was going to get one looking down river of the camp, and I could see that Joe had a light on in his tent. And I thought, oh, that'll look kind of cool. So I hit the shutter button, and then right after that, Joe got out of his tent and walked towards me with his flashlight. So that's what you're seeing in that picture. It was kind of cool. I like the way it came out. But yeah, it's just Joe walking towards me with a flashlight, and you can't see him, but the light makes a big impression. So in addition to the footage here I've got of me in the river, I'm going to overlay a little bit of footage. We had a super windy day. We've had a couple big windstorms. So I took some footage when Sarah and I were walking. We actually started to go for a walk, and the wind was blowing so hard that I was worried that it was going to bring down a tree on us. And it did bring down a bunch of trees in town. We had like garbage cans blowing by us on the road. So that's what that footage is. The other interesting thing that happened in this last week, which was kind of fun, was Taryn goes to karate on Tuesday and Thursday evenings out north of town, and he drives the Mini out. Now he used to drive the camper van. I know you know this, but so I was getting ready to go to bed at Tuesday about 9 o'clock, and get a phone call from Taryn, and I picked it up and I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "I'm fine. The car's doing something weird." And I said, "Okay, what's it doing?" And he was like, "It's making a weird noise." And I said, "Did you check the tires?" And he said, "Well, I checked the driver's tire where I thought it was coming from." And I said, "Can you get out and shake the tire, wiggle it?" And he said, "Well, it moves a little bit." And I said, "Well, why don't I just come up?" So I drove up there, and I checked the driver's tire, and it seemed fine. And so I jumped in the car and pulled it forward like 20 feet, and clearly he's got a flat tire somewhere. It's that clunk, clunk, clunk. And so I get out, and it's the driver's side rear tire, and you'll see here I got a picture of it. It was completely disintegrated. And so I'd never changed the tire on his Mini before, and it was hilarious because we opened the trunk area, and I could see that there was a spare tire up underneath, and it had a plate keeping it in. And I had him get the manual to read how to do it because it's all way over engineered. It's actually pretty ingenious. It's in little tight spaces. And I was looking for the jack, and I should actually take a picture of the jack and put it in here because I was like, this can't be the jack. This has to be half of the jack. Because it's just basically a piece of sheet metal with some bends in it, and then another piece with a screw in it that puts it out in an L shape. And I thought, this cannot lift a vehicle. Well, it is the jack, and it does lift the vehicle, and it lifts it just enough to change the tire, and it actually ended up being super easy to change the tire. So yeah, it was a good experience. It was cold. Unfortunately, it was like 30 degrees out, and it was dark, and I guess before I got there, a state patrol officer came by and asked him what was up, and he said, well, there's something wrong with my car. He called my dad. He's on his way. and so they just checked his ID and then let him go, which seemed a little odd to me. I mean, I would have thought that, he's on the side of the road there. He did have his flashers on, had his lights off, which was stupid. Actually, next time he does it, I told him, leave the car running, leave all your lights on, leave the flashers on. Because as soon as I got there in the Land Cruiser, I left all the lights on and left everything running, and all of a sudden you can see better and get a little warmth when you reach into the car. Anyway, it was a good experience for him, but we ended up getting new tires all the way around for the Mini, which was relatively inexpensive considering what we pay for the Land Cruiser or the camper van. So that was our excitement this last week. I had a nice soak in the river, enjoyed it, felt really good. It would be more fun if I was with a bunch of other people, but I just don't have the gumption to ask other people to get in the river with me. Oh, and the temperatures. Scott O'Daniel gave me a little temperature sensor that you can see right there. And the air temperature, it's funny because I left it on the rock and it said it was 35 degrees outside. And in the water it said like 38. But I think it was warmer in the sun. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Bye.